Today we're changing out an inner tie rod in on a 1999 Nissan Altima. First thing we did was jacked up the car and put a couple jack stands under here. Here's the inner tie rod end on the car, and I removed this nut off of here, and then I got a special puller to remove this ball joint here. Works pretty easy with that special puller. Now we're going to try to break loose this nut off the outer tie rod end. I got a 13mm down there. I got it propped up against some suspension stuff, and it's pretty tight, so I'm going to try hammering on it. I wonder if this would void my warranty with Craftsman if they seen this. So that little 13mm wrench I had back here wasn't big enough, so I had to get my big crescent wrench to put on there, but we got this nut loose here now. And once that nut is loose, we'll pull this out here, and then I'm going to count how many turns it takes to get this off, and when I put the new one on, I'm going to put it on the same number of turns so that way the alignment is somewhat close, but I'm going to have it aligned anyway when I get it done. On the tie rod end there's that boot, and way back there's a clamp where they had it crimped, and I just kind of hammered a screwdriver in there and bent that crimp apart. So now that clamp will come off this boot, so I can pull this boot off. There's that clamp that we just got done bending. See if now it's loose. I'll see if I can just pop it off here. There. Now the boot should just pull right off. Okay, we'll take this clamp off the outside here. Like that. There it is. Now this boot just pulls right off here. There's these special washers. They come with the inner tie rod ends, and they got these two tabs here. They fit in some slots in the rack and pinion. So once it's in there, it can't turn. And it's very important because I don't want this spinning loose. I have to bend these tabs back over so that way this can't spin out of here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend those tabs forward on the old one so that way I can remove this. So I went to O'Reilly's, and they've got some loaner tools there. I think like Advance and AutoZone probably has loaner tools too, but today I went to O'Reilly's and I had to buy this kit. It was like 60 bucks, but when I get done with the car, I'll just return it and I get my money back. And it comes with this special socket here for taking this off and putting it back on. And it's also got this pipe that goes over like this. And you put your ratchet on the end there. And we're going to use this now to take the old one off. So we got our special socket here. We'll slide on there. Take the pipe and the ratchet. Put that on. now it's loose. There. The old one is out. Here you can see that's where I had bent the washer forward, because the washer was bent around this way and that was keeping it from coming loose. This new one came with a little bit of grease in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put a much more grease on there because I don't ever want it to go dry. I don't ever want to have to do this again on this car. So here's our special lock washer with those tabs, and you can see here is where they're supposed to fit, so that this washer is not allowed to spin. It's the most important part of this whole job, is making sure that this is installed correctly, because this is what's going to keep it from coming loose, because I don't want that tie rod end falling off when I'm going down the interstate or something. Okay, now to put the new one on. Here's our washer. So you can see the tabs are sticking up there. Let's go ahead and screw it in. And before it gets tight, I'll make sure this washer is in its slots. There. Now they're in their slots where they're supposed to be. I'll check it here. Yep, they're in there. Now I'll use my special socket again, and the pipe that goes with it. I'll tighten this baby up. So now you can see I've got this flat washer bent around this flat edge so it can't come loose. And over here on this side, I've got it partially done. I'm going to bend a little bit more of it now. What I'm doing is I'm taking my channel locks and I'm just going around the whole deal and squeezing it down here. And I want to make sure I get all four edges done so there's no possibility of it spinning loose. So now we got all four edges of that washer are bent around to keep that tie rod end from spinning out. Now I'll just slide this boot back on here. Now we'll go ahead and put this clamp on here. In the back, where we first took that clamp off on the inside, I couldn't get it crimped back together, so I just grabbed a zip tie and zip tied it on there. I did use my vice grips though to get it real tight, because you don't want that popping off there. So I put this outer tie rod end on. I counted about 26 rounds as I took it off, so I put it back on 26 rounds. Now I've got this other nut here, to a lock nut or whatever. Just gonna tighten that down so it doesn't come loose. And then put this back in here. Put the nut back on that, and we're pretty much done. Just put the car back together. So we got it all back together, and tomorrow I guess I'll just go and get the alignment done at Sears or wherever.